I was able to bring back my own memory, but I also able to bring back the fellows, Malaysians or Singaporeans' memory, that I make a new home again. It was about like 14 when I just turned 14. There's this girl about my first love. It was about this person when she walked in. The minute when I see her, I knew that, you know, that I fall for her. When I first had the relationship and I started to tell my dad about it, she's also a Baba Nyonya. At least for my father, he was very happy about it because my family wanted to keep the blood going. Baba Nyonya is just hard to maintain it because usually for them it's arranged marriage. They would prefer me marry another persons that have the same family background, but they are not really like what it was used to be anymore. And then my dad already know from the very beginning. He would say, you know, just be yourself, be happy. As long as you don't hurt anybody, it's fine. His image to me is like a hero. Then when I first came to the United States, I don't want to ask any money from my parents, but my tuitions is too high. So I called my dad. I said, I'm sorry, I need your help. And then my dad said, it's okay. And then I said, I feel useless because I feel like I'm a burden. My dad said, it's okay, you are my daughter. You are my responsibility for whole life. All little things that he does, then I feel like he was a hero. My dad has a stutter, so when he gets nervous, he won't able to finish up a sentence. So usually he's more quiet. That he wanted to say certain things, and nobody was patient enough to listen whatever he was saying. So he would put all his passions into the food. After I talked to him and then he started to talk about food, you know, he got so excited and then he's happy. Or maybe this is something that I could do for him and my family.
I think I like this one better. Okay, yeah. So I think just one of them. Sure.
My parents already have their own restaurant business for over 46 years. Started from my grandfather. I live in the house of Baba Nyonyas. We call it House of Baba Nyonyas because every one of us are the same, that we are Portuguese and Chinese dissidents. Here we serve everything as we will drink it. That's why all our cups behind our cup we say certified awesome. If I don't drink it, I'll pour that away. I'm not gonna serve it to you. People usually ask if a Chinese marry a Portuguese and then live in Malaysia, are they considered as Baba Nyonya? It's no longer the same Baba Nyonyas because you don't accept the same educations, religion, to the same kind of culture anymore because there's a dying culture. Right now there are not much of Baba Nyonya land, like pure Baba Nyonyas. Exact measurements is 210 square feet. It used to be a flower shop. This side have 2 big fridge for the flowers, and then there's like a sink somewhere around here. And so when I walked in here, and I'll say, okay, sure, I can bring this to your dish.
So I'm gonna stay.
People start to forget how simple things could be. Our coffee culture is not supposed to be in a rush. People just take time. As the world moves faster, people trying to follow the speed and they forget their original roots. Malaysian foods, especially Baba Nyonya foods, it requires a lot of time. It's very labor intensive. You need a lot of patience, a lot of commitments, and a lot of love to make each dish every day. And then every time I cook, it reminds me of home. I think that's a type of meditations for me. You know, there are certain dishes that when I cook, I feel like I know more about my mother, start to know more about my father, and also my aunt and all that, you know. When we cook, you could prepare it in a different way. But when you prepare it this way, it brings out a little bit more about your personality, how you prepare it and why you're doing it. There's a certain belief about themselves.
Baba Nyonya, we serve, a lot of things that has to do with coconut, pandan. Those are like our signatures. They spend a lot of time to do a small little things just because all of this were served to the god before we served to the family.
When I was there with them, I would be like other kids. I would follow them to temples whenever I have to. For Baba Nyona's family, if you do something back to yourself, it's a direct punishment to your parents. So I want my parents to be blessed. That's why I continue to believe whatever they believed. It gets stronger when I'm by myself, when I'm far from them. But it's like my connections with my family has nothing to do with the place. Yeah, it doesn't really matter where they are, the bond and everything, because I'm always never home. But I always thought that this is the place that I want to stay for another couple more years. Until I met my girlfriend, and it's when I feel like as long as we had a family together, we can make anywhere else home. There are certain things that you cannot erase it, especially when it comes to your palates. So the palates is probably connected to your memory. We can forget things, but we cannot forget the taste that you've grown up with. And it reminds me about a food stall that I go for 6 years straight. It was just a noodle store. I see how the old lady from black hair turned to gray hair, and then she's sick, and then her kid took after, and then it's no longer the same taste anymore. Eventually the place closed down.
When I open up this place, I try to introduce people to actual Malaysian culture.
Because I think that this is a dying culture. I was trying to preserve my memory about things that I've grown up with. Even though I won't able to pass it to the next generations, at least it doesn't die in my generations. That's what I think.
If an animal will be extinct, what about the culture if somebody is not to continue it?
The pride I have from my family, I already did my part to preserve it.